Hello everybody, it's Avalon. Today is Thursday and I'm a little late getting started with my morning chat because I have a lunch date at 12 and I needed a shower, and so it's just a little off this morning. But I just wanted to let you know first off by telling you that my morning started off with Red Borneo from Botanical Romance, who has risen to the top of my list for best kratom ever. Okay? Her name's Cassie. Her website's up and running and it's really cool. It's kind of spacey-like. And she has kick-ass kratom. And, you know, just start off ordering samples. You don't have to order a whole shit ton of kratom. Just order some samples, test it, see how you like it, and then go from there. My next kilo will be coming from her. That's for sure. And let me tell you guys something. I really respect people who order right straight from Indonesia. I mean, it's awesome if you can do that. I used to be able to do that, but my farmer has shit product, and so I'm glad I'm glad I didn't send somebody to him, because I would have felt so bad, because the last kilo I got is shit. I'm just going to use it to give to people who are in need. And because when beggars can't be choosers, and so when people are in need, at least they'll have some kratom, have some product they can have that I can send them, and because I like to do that, I like to help people out. And so my first choice is Botanical Romance, like I said. My second choice would be probably Mitra Leaf. Mitra Leaf, it has excellent kratom. My third, Tea Forge. The Tea Forge. They're probably my third. I mean, they're right up there. I mean, it's really hard to put them in order because they all have good stuff. I don't order from Philly Kratom anymore. Not that he doesn't have good product. I don't agree with some things. I don't agree with how some things are being done and how people are being treated. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And Beliefer's good. The last time I ordered some slow kratom, I'm going to probably end up giving this away too. I ordered some red. And I wasn't all that impressed. But it's hard to tell, though, because how I react to kratom depends on what I took for sleep the night before, how I slept, how I'm feeling. I mean, it's just hard. It's hard to tell. But anyway. And Carolina Kratom. I forgot all about the Carolina Kratom. That is kick-ass kratom. Carolina Kratom. So, I mean, I've got some really good vendors in my arsenal right now, and it's really good to have good product. All right, so I'm going to talk to you guys today about me almost getting, I was right on the verge of getting arrested, guys. Nicole, my friend Nicole from Real Talk Recovery, she said I should tell this story. I don't normally tell my drug-a-logs, but I was really lucky I didn't get popped. All right, so I think that the reason that I didn't get popped was a combination of I was older and I had more practice in... I didn't blend my makeup very well. I was practiced in being sneaky. I was very practiced in being sneaky. And, I had done drugs on and off throughout my life. And so I kind of knew how to, that's the wrong one, kind of be under the radar. So when I started selling my own pain pills back in the day, I was very careful on who I sold to. And normally just one person would buy the whole script. I didn't have multiple people coming to my house and, creating all kinds of traffic. That was one thing that I stayed away from, is traffic in my house. I normally used by myself, and I would go myself to the dealer's house and pick up what I needed, and I would come back home and use in the privacy of my own home. Every once in a while, I would have somebody come over and use with me. It wasn't an all the time thing, because I knew that that's how people get in trouble. I was trying to, I was hiding the fact that I was even using. Nobody really knew except for the people that I was dealing with. Like my friend who lived downstairs had no clue. I was just good at hiding my shit. And I also wasn't one of those people that nodded out, which that also helped. If I would do heroin, and I would be, I'd have energy and just be cleaning my house, and I'd be going shopping and stuff. It gave me energy. It never made me nod out. The only thing that ever made me nod out was I had snorted 2 Opanas. That was before I started doing heroin. And I was faded, guys, faded. My daughter showed up at the house I was at my friend's, and here I am sitting on the couch nodding out in front of my daughter. I was so embarrassed. This is before I started using with my children. And, yeah. So, when I really started using a lot, I started smoking crack, I started smoking bath salts, I was shooting up. So I had crack pipes and needles and aluminum foil and straws for the bath salts. And they would, listen, okay. The very first time my house was raided, I took my son and his friend to Elmira for something. I lived in Hornell. In Owego. And so it was like a 45-minute drive. And so we left. I'm driving. And I get a text or a phone call from somebody, I can't remember who it was now, that says, the cops are raiding your house. Raiding your apartment. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Okay, because guess what I had? On my dresser in my room, I had, on a small mirror, I had crystal meth. It was some sort of meth. I can't remember now. My brain is too many drugs. And I had a little pillow that had the scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, and it said, "If I only had a brain." And that was on my dresser in front of that mirror of meth. And so when I heard they were in my house, I was freaking the fuck out. I thought for sure I was going to go to jail. Here it is on my dresser. The only thing that's hiding it is a pillow. And the pillow was propped up. The dresser, the corner of the dresser was kind of hidden with that pillow. That was my only saving grace, guys. So when I got home, I went in, and there it was, still sitting there. They had gone through, I don't know what they had gone through, but they didn't see the top of that dresser. Sometimes, I guess, if it's right in front of your face, you just don't see it. And they were looking for stuff that was hidden. And I just consider myself, very, very lucky that I didn't get caught for that. And so I called the cops, the sheriff's office, and I was like, why did my house get raided? And he's like, well, you wrote bad checks in Elmira. I'm like, no, I didn't. I don't even go to Elmira. Like, I don't shop in Elmira. I don't write checks. I didn't even have a checking account. I was broke, guys. I mean, all my money was going for drugs. I didn't have no fucking checking account. I didn't have a pot to piss in, as far as money goes. So apparently there was another person with my name and my birth date that lived in Elmira and that was writing checks. So when I told the sheriff asked me what my social security number is, and I told him, he goes, oh, well, it looks like that, that's not you. I'm like, I know it's not me. So they were looking for a warrant. They were looking my name up, the cops were, to find a warrant to see if I had one where they could just go in my house. I was pissed. I was so pissed. And they were so desperate to get me, And so the second time they came in my house, I was there, and my daughter had a boyfriend who was a drug dealer, and they were staying at in my apartment. I didn't know he was on parole, right? He was supposed to, they said he was going to to see his parole officer. He wasn't. They were lying to me. And so the parole officer, the detectives and the chief of police came banging at my door and asked me if he was there. I'm like, I am tired of you people harassing me, blah, blah. And they told me that so-and-so had a warrant because for parole. I was like, right up the stairs, go. He's right in the bathroom. My daughter and he were in the bathroom flushing. You could hear the toilet flushing. They were flushing its crack. They were flushing. They wouldn't open the door. The cops were outside. Let us in. I'm like, I wanted them to get him out of my house, guys. I did. And so they ended up busting the door down and taking him out. And then they came back and searched their room. They found a bag of needles. The needles were mine. I had them hidden in there. But since it was their room, I didn't get in trouble for it. I was like, no, oh my gosh, they're using needles? Oh, how horrific. Those cops knew better than that, but they didn't have anything on me because it was their room. Oh, so I got lucky on that one. Then they came and arrested me one time and took me to the station. And the one cop, well, I don't know, they didn't arrest me. They just came and got me. And they put me in handcuffs and took me to the station. And I get in there and they're like, we know you're a heroin addict. And they held up this CD. We got you on the CD. Getting into a known drug dealer's car, and I'm like, you are a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. Fucking way that's me on no fucking video. So they kept me there and harassed me for about an hour, telling me I was a heroin addict, telling me all this stuff. And I was like, and I didn't know at the time, I didn't know anything about the law. I could have gotten up and left. They didn't have any reason to keep me. And so, yeah. So I decide to go to treatment. And I was in bad shape. I was, shooting 20 bags of heroin a day, or Dilaudid. I was shooting Dilaudid 8s. I was smoking crack, doing meth. Anything I could put in my body, except alcohol. I'm not an alcohol person. But any drug that I could put in my body, it was going in my body. And I was sinking. And I was, like I said, this has come back to bite me in the ass because somebody was very mean to me on a video that I had posted under about it was my fault that my son's in prison. My son is in prison because he made bad choices. He's the one that turned me on to the needle. He was, and I was in such a horrible place that it seemed like, why not? And, I look back on it now and I'm like, what was I even thinking? I mean, what the fuck was I thinking? And it became a normal thing to do drugs with my children, to smoke crack with them and shoot up with them. And I mean, that is the place that drug addiction takes you. You know, it causes pregnant mothers to still continue to use drugs. It causes mothers to start using drugs with their own children. It causes a person to sell their asses for drugs. It causes just your morals to go down. And anyway, so I went into treatment, and I went through the rehab, 28 days, and then I went to halfway house. I wasn't at the halfway house a couple days maybe, and I was watching the news, and right in front of my face there was a huge drug bust in Owego, and all my drug dealer, my homegirl that used to get me the Dilaudid, just all my people, their faces were out there on the news. They gotten busted. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, feeling like I had just avoided a disaster. I had just avoided a whole new level of addiction, and that is going to prison. I avoided it just by 30 days. They were gunning for me. The only reason, like, I hid all my paraphernalia, like I said, my needles, my crack pipe, all that out. I had a back porch off my kitchen. I had a kitty door that went to a back porch, a closed-in back porch. And that's where my kitty litter box was, my vacuum cleaner, just, just storage supplies. I had a small chest freezer out there. And I had the kind of vacuum cleaner that still took the bags. And so what I would do is I would pour Carpet Fresh, really highly scented Carpet Fresh, in my bag. And I put all my paraphernalia behind that bag in that vacuum cleaner. And it covered up the scent. It covered up the smell. They never thought of looking in the vacuum cleaner behind the bag, ever. That was one of the reasons I didn't get caught, because the times they would come up and search my house, they would go out on that porch and they would just kind of look around, and they just thought it was just some unused porch. And I got so lucky, and that I was able to, but that didn't teach me a lesson. I was in treatment for 6 months. I was in the halfway house. I got thrown out because I threatened a girl. And I was relapsed within 2 weeks of being home at the Strawberry Festival. My drug dealer was standing at the end of the street. She's dead now. And I got a bag for old time's sake. And that's just started me back off. Because for me, I can't slip. I can't do just one bag of heroin. I can't do that. That is a complete and utter relapse for me. The cats are running. That is a complete and utter relapse for me. Someone commented under a video I commented under today, and said that they've slipped a couple times by taking a pill or whatever. And for me, that I couldn't do that, because if I'm going to relapse, I'm going to go balls to the wall. If I make that choice that I'm going to use, then I'm making that choice that I'm going balls to the wall. There ain't no just doing a pill here and there. And that's not going to work for me. I mean, I can't. I am beyond that point as an addict. That's why I can't use it no matter what. I can't mess around and use here and there, because I know what it's done to me. I know that I dip my toe into that pool, just my little toe in that pool, and I'm straight to the bottom and I'm done. And so I consider myself blessed and lucky and fortunate that I didn't go to jail, that I decided 30 days before to go to treatment. I'm not going to sit here and say that I know that it was divine, or I know that, no, I think it was more luck. And I think it was more just my best friend had gone to treatment. She was clean and sober. She was an inspiration. And I wanted to do what she did. And so, you know, if jail is a not yet for you, I suggest that you stop now, because that's a not yet that I don't want to cross. So, anyway, I got to go because I'm going to go to lunch here soon. And I hope you're all having a good day. If you need anything, message me. I'm Avalon Ann Decker on Facebook. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it. Brightest blessings and God bless.